ليتك دوما قريب. Love is everywhere, so much peace fills up the air. Ramadan, month of the Quran, I feel it inside of me, strengthening my iman. But how I wish you'd be here with me all year around. Ramadan, 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 ya Habib. Ramadan, Ramadan, ليتك دوما قريب. I just love the way you make me feel. Every time you come around, you breathe life into my soul. And I promise that I'll try throughout the year to keep your spirit alive. 'Cause in my heart it never dies. Oh, Ramadan, oh. Ramadan, 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 ya Habib. Ramadan, Ramadan, ليتك دوما قريب. رمضان، رمضان، رمضان يا حبيب. رمضان، رمضان، ليتك دوما قريب. ليتك دوما قريب. ليتك دوما قريب.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Don't let another Ramadan go by without knowing
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. يا رب صل عليه، يا رب صل عليه، يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه. البدر كطلعته وجه جميل، والشمس كبسمته ظل ظليل. هو عبد الله سيد الخلق ومصطفاه، وحبيب الله خير مبعوث بوحي الله. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل خير عباد الله خير البرايا حي فينا بهداه حلو الوصايا نسألك الله أن تجمعنا يوما برسول الله من كوثره يروينا فتقبل يا رباه مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه طاهر القلب نقي ذاكر لله المصطفى الصفي صلى عليه الله أخلاقه وصفاته سبحان من سواه هو قدوتي وحبيبي ودعوة النجاة يا رسول الله يا حبيب الله فاكتب لنا نلقاه ندعوك يا رباه مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه يا رب صل عليه صلوات الله عليه
Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is your brother Maher Zain.
All right. Okay, shall we start right now, Yazid? You ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh to all our friends who have just joined our Instagram live this evening. And then maybe we have some friends from Yazid Instagram, so we welcome also. Thank you for being with us this evening. And with such a blessing, which is such a blessing evening because we have our special guest speaker. This is my friend, brother Yazid. Okay, Yazid, how are you? You are in
Good.
hostel right now?
Yeah, I'm still in Bilal.
All right,
Everything
Bilal.
going fine.
So how is it going? This RMO, how was it?
It's going okay. I mean, everyone is suffering at the same time, so I don't have anything to worry about. So yeah.
So the food, the drink, is it enough for all of you?
Yeah. Everything is
Alhamdulillah.
provided. So
All right, Yazid, we are doing this session, which is a control alternative, short to think. And this segment, we invite you as a guest speaker to talk about how
Thank
to
you,
memorize
thank you.
the Holy Quran. And you know, the Ramadan Kareem is just at the corner, so we need to prepare ourselves mental and physically. So this
Yeah.
is a one of we can say mental preparation for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Brother Yazid, as I know you are also one of Hufaz, yeah. Okay, can you
Yeah.
share with us a bit intro about yourself?
Uh-huh. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good evening, everyone. First off, I want to thank Sharid and the whole Islamic Finance Students Council for giving me this opportunity to share my story and experience with others.
Mm-hmm.
And second, I want to thank the people who have joined tonight. So thank you very much for sparing parts of your time in your busy schedule and tuning in for this IG sharing session.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I get to share my story. I get to also benefit from you guys, from your questions, from your experiences, and yeah. Should I introduce myself?
Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Yazid Yasin from Indonesia.
MashaAllah.
I'm a third year student studying Islamic finance in IIUM.
All right, Brother Yazid, when you start to memorize Quran?
Okay, so I think I should start from the beginning, is it?
Yes.
Okay, so the story begins when, first off, a little background here on myself. I'm originally from Indonesia, but then I was born and brought up in Kuwait, a small country
Wow, mashallah.
in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
So I lived most of my life there, and so the whole of my memorization process was done there, not in Indonesia.
I see.
So it all started when we were kids, and I think I haven't even gone to school yet. So my elder brother was already going to school by then.
Mm-hmm.
His school was about 15 minutes away from our apartment in Kuwait.
I see. Okay.
And so one day my father, he prayed at the masjid nearby the school. And then he noticed that there was a group of people memorizing the Quran together. And
Yeah.
they have the sheikh and all of it looked organized. And so he was interested. And so he spoke to the teachers there. He offered to have them take in my elder brother, who was also going to the school nearby. And then they rejected at the beginning because the Quranic school there was only for people from Pakistan, from India, from Bangladesh, from that area.
I see.
So the communication was all done in Urdu, and we weren't speaking that. Yeah, we weren't speaking that language. So that was a major issue. So at the beginning they rejected, but then my father kept negotiating here and there, and then they finally accepted it.
MashaAllah.
So my brother was the only guy from Indonesia. There wasn't even a guy from an Arabic country or somewhere else. They're all Pakistanis, Indians, Bangladeshis. So yeah. And then my family decided to move out from the old apartment to a new apartment nearby the Quranic school. Yeah.
I see, mashallah.
Just
I know what is the name of the area?
It's called Khaitan.
Khitan. I see.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Kuwait's a small country, so everyone is almost same place. But then, yeah. So we moved to the new apartment, and I wasn't going there at the beginning. Only my elder brother was going.
Mm-hmm.
And then after some time, after half a year, I think, I joined also my brother. But I started off just by reading practicing the alphabets, the Iqra. I don't know
Oh,
which book do
the
you call it?
oh, I see. Okay, all right.
Yeah, the pre-memorizing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't exactly memorizing. And then even when I completed that, uh,
That
when I
lesson.
completed the book, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't ready to memorize yet.
I
So I was
see.
like,
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling confident enough.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was challenging. It was too much for me. So I just uh, went to recite. So every day I would go there and recite
I
and not
see.
memorize. Unlike,
What is your current age at that time?
I think it was the first time I went there. I was, I think, 4 or 3.
4, mashallah.
Yeah, I think
So
4.
early.
Yeah, and then that continued for, I think, until I was in the 3rd grade. So
Mm-hmm.
the whole time I was just reciting, and I wasn't memorizing, unlike the others, because I was terrified.
Oh, all right.
And my father was trying to convince me. He even bribed me many times with gifts, with money, so that I would start memorizing. But I
Yeah,
wasn't into
alhamdulillah.
it. But then finally, when I entered the 3rd grade, or in the middle of the
Mm-hmm.
3rd grade, I was convinced that I should start this by memorizing.
Oh, mashallah.
So that's how the whole journey began.
Mashallah, alhamdulillah. You need to thank to your father for
Yeah, I
his
mean, my
effort.
parents were very supportive of this
Yeah,
idea,
alhamdulillah. How many siblings do you have in your family?
We're all 4 together. I'm the second one.
Or your second?
Yeah, and one younger brother and one
Mm-hmm.
younger sister.
So all of them are memorizing the Quran.
No,
Like,
only me
no,
and my elder brother. But my younger brother is
alhamdulillah.
on the way, almost
Yeah,
there.
alhamdulillah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's currently memorizing the Quran, mashallah. Beautiful family, mashallah. Yazid.
Thank you, thank you.
So can you share with us what is the benefit memorizing the Quran?
The benefits of memorizing. I think this part you can divide it into 2 parts, I think.
Okay,
One is in terms of the rewards.
I see. Right.
So I'm sure everyone have heard before the virtues and benefits of memorizing the Quran in terms of the rewards and the good deeds.
Mm-hmm.
So a famous narration that we've all heard before is the one where it said, those who recite one letter from the Quran will get 10 good deeds from just reading one
Mm-hmm.
letter.
Yes. Yes.
So imagine that if you read the first word of Al-Fatiha, which is
Mm-hmm.
Alhamdu, you already get 50 good deeds.
Wow.
And you continue Alhamdu Lillahi, you get
Mm-hmm.
80.
Mashallah.
And then you read the first 3 words, only 3, you get already 100. Alhamdulillah Rabb. So imagine reading a whole verse.
Mm-hmm.
Also imagine reading a full page. Imagine
Yes.
reading a full juz. So imagine the rewards of all of that.
Wow. It's so easy to get reward by Allah
Yeah,
subhanahu wa
it's easy,
ta'ala,
but
mashallah.
many people are very unconscious about this.
Yeah. That's why we make it this session. We want to all of us, our friends, get the awareness on
Yeah,
the benefit
yeah.
behind the memorizing Al Quran.
Also,
Right,
like
go on.
it doesn't only benefit you in terms of rewards, but it also benefits your parents
Mm.
who have raised you to be where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
So in the hereafter, when you enter paradise, inshallah,
Mm-hmm. Inshallah.
not only you will be uplifted in terms of ranks and class, but also your parents will be lifted, and they will be
Oh.
surprised of why they will be lifted. But but then they will be responded by that you raise your kids to be huffaz, to be memorizers of the Holy Quran. And that is why you will be uplifted there.
MashaAllah,
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So, how long the journey to memorize the whole Quran? In your case,
For me,
yeah.
it was slow, unlike the
see.
others, because the Quranic school I went to, it was full-time memorizing.
Full time, inshallah.
Yeah, so the students who were going there, they were going full-time, like morning from 7:30 to 1, also from Asr to Isha.
I see.
So that was about, I think, 8 hours a day.
8 hours.
But for
alright.
us, me and my elder brother, we were going to school in morning, and in the evening we would go to the Quranic school.
MashaAllah.
So we would only get a little time to catch up
I see.
with others,
Yeah.
So the typical time for them was, I think, 2.5 years, but for me it was 6 years. I took,
MashaAllah.
yeah.
But it's okay, even though
Yeah, I have nothing to regret.
you said it's slow, you take a long time, but you make it two things in one time. You have a conventional school at the morning, and after that you have the memorization session. Alhamdulillah, there's a beautiful activity, a beautiful attitude actually. So can you share with us on how the method to memorize the Quran?
Yeah. So the system they went with in my Quranic school was they had 3 sessions. So they had session 1, 2, and 3. So session 1 is where you recite the new verses you've memorized. It could be 1 page or half a page, according to your capability.
All right.
So, yeah, the first one is about the new memorization, and then the second and the third is the revisions.
The revision.
Yeah, this one is a bit complicated, but I'll try to simplify it.
All right, it's okay.
So, for instance,
I'm jotting down.
Okay. So, for instance, you've already memorized the last 3 juz, 27, 28, 28, 29, 30.
Oh, you start from the back.
Yeah.
All right.
So, if I am in the 27th juz, and for example, I'm in the 7th page of juz 27, so session 1 will be the page I'm reading right now, which is on page 7. Session 2 will be from the beginning, from juz 27 until the place I've stopped in on page 7.
Oh, I see. Wow.
Yeah. So day by day you increase the portion of the second session. So yeah, and the third one will be from the juz you've memorized before. So if you've already done juz 30, juz 29, juz 28, you will go one by one. For example, today you will do the first half of 28, and then tomorrow you'll do the second half of 28, and then you go along until you repeat those. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters who are just joined our Instagram live, with me, our special guest, Brother Yazid, we talk on how to memorize the Quran. So we can see just many people who just come and join us. So we welcome again. All right. So basically, Brother Yazid just share with us on benefit of memorizing the Quran and memorization method. So Brother Yazid,
Yes.
Before that, we also welcome any question that our friends will ask. So if you have any question to ask Brother Yazid, you may just comment below. And luckily, Brother Yazid also can speak in Arabic. So some of them I can see there's a lot of comment in Arabic. So if you notice there is a question, so you just can answer it because
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I'm not good in Arabic. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So is there any method that we can use maybe for starter or beginner? Because this during Ramadan, the upcoming Ramadan, we have the Salat Taraweh, and currently we are in this pandemic session, so we cannot go Taraweh at the mosque or surah any, so we need to do it at our home. So maybe some of us in their home or at their place want to do the Taraweh together. So despite of just recite the same surah, so maybe they want a variety in their prayer. So can you share with us some?
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult nowadays to gather with people,
Yes.
going to classes or doing any activities. So I don't know about this one, but from my experience, I think if you want to learn or you want to complete the whole Quran, I think you have to have a teacher or someone to go to. Because if you're gonna do it alone, it's gonna be almost impossible. You would get bored. You would do mistakes that no one will remind you of. So I think it would be difficult. So the only thing you need to do is find someone who is trustworthy, who has already completed the Quran, and just tell him honestly that you really want to do it, and he will hopefully be very happy to help.
I see. As I know, in Malaysia, there is also some of them who are Hafiz. So when they are doing the memorization in Quran, there is a test or an exam which is called in Malaysia is called tebuk.
Yeah.
Do you know? Tebuk. Tebuk is tebuk is a Malay language. But tebuk is when the teacher or the examiner will test their student on which randomly about the Quran verses. For example, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, and then the student need to continue the rest of the sentence. Do you have that kind of a test?
We do, yes. For us, when I was in Kuwait, it's more of a competition.
Oh, competition.
So the government is very supportive of this, the whole idea of memorizing the Quran. So every 3 months, they would provide this platform for students to test their memorizing skills, and they would reward them with checks and money.
Wow, Alhamdulillah. I think that is a good incentive.
Yeah.
All right,
So
we have a question from Madam Fadilah, mashallah. How did you learn Arabic, and is it by reading or listening more effective to you?
I think for me it's all about the environment, because I was living in an Arabic environment. Most of my friends were Arabs, so you will eventually learn day by day. Also, we learned the Arabic language in most of my classes, starting from kindergarten. So it all started from an early age.
Oh, I see. I just want to ask you, despite of your Kuwait area, in Indonesia, which province did you stay? Which area in Indonesia?
I'm from Malang.
Malang.
It's near Surabaya. If you don't know that
Surabaya,
one.
mashallah.
Yeah.
I think Okay, Surabaya. Surabaya is one of most most people from the Malaysia come to Surabaya to
Yeah,
shoot
yeah,
the
yeah. True. Yeah.
yeah, lot of things. All right, thank you, Madam Fadila, for that question. Or is there
Any
any
other
question to ask?
questions?
Yeah. Some people want me to book you. I'm not
On
that.
spot?
I'm not that certified tebuk. Tebuk, yeah, I don't have that kind. All right. Okay, there's the next question from Muhammad Good. Learning Arabic is dependent on your environment you are living in, or maybe if you have a good school. Oh, I see. There's a statement.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it depends.
Mm-hmm.
Because the school I was going to were English schools.
Oh, English
So
school.
the curriculum and everything was done in English.
I
But then my friends were
see.
Arabic, so both
Oh.
languages were practiced
So that's
at the
how you
same time.
manage to practice your
Yeah.
language. MashaAllah. All right. Can you talk about the willingness on memorizing the Quran?
The willingness.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think this point is more related to the kids more than the adults or young adults.
Mm-hmm.
So by this point, I mean it's like when your parents kind of force you to go to a Quranic school and memorize the Quran. So over time, if that kid isn't convinced or uh, is not at the same page with the parents of knowing the value of this act, then that would be a loss for him in the long term. He would go astray. He would forget what he's learned. So for someone at a young age, he should try to convince himself that this is a very noble act, and the virtues of this act is very, very much talked about by the Prophet. But for us adults or young adults who are in college or going to school,
Mm-hmm.
I think the important thing is to have the right intention, you know?
MashaAllah. Yes. Agreed.
Because if you don't have the right intention, you won't be blessed in your act.
Mm-hmm.
So try to not do it for your parents or to please your friends or to show off. Just keep the intention of doing it only for the sake of the Almighty alone. And that will bring
MashaAllah.
the blessing to you and will get the people around you to be inspired by you without you knowing.
Yeah, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. All right. So, after you spend about 6 years in memorizing the Quran, so after that session or that stage, so how you improve your memorizing? Do we call it as muraja'ah? How do you muraja'ah all the
But,
verses?
yeah, at the beginning when I first completed the whole Quran, I wasn't really 100% like memorized. So it took me a long time. I finished the Quran when I was 15, so I had 5 years to improve until now. So it's difficult, but should be done
Yes.
to keep it intact.
That's it.
Yeah, the whole
I
process
see.
of Muraja is done alone for myself.
Oh, I see. So currently you don't have any teacher to recheck or friends to for
I
the time
have,
in yeah.
I have, but I don't really. I'm not really 100% dependent on that one.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, in IIM, I'm going to halaqa in the masjid. That's only 2 days a week.
Oh, to this way, I see.
So for me, it's very little compared to what I want to recite.
Yes.
So it doesn't
So
give me
that's
the full,
yes.
yeah, doesn't give me the full chance to recite all the things I want to.
I see. So basically, you are doing by your own self for
Yeah.
day by day. Yeah, mashallah. That's a great effort, as a Muslim, mashallah. And at this young age, you did this kind of thing. So, yeah, this is quite inspiration for me and to all our friends. So, Yazid, we have a question from Madam Nisa.
What is it?
Bro Yazid, yeah, despite having the right setting and environment, can you share with us some of the challenges that you faced along the way of your memorizing the Holy Quran?
Some of the challenges.
Yeah, the challenges.
Challenges. The only challenge I remember was, which is a very major one, is the consistency.
Consistency, yeah.
Because for 6 years, imagine, in the morning you go to school,
Yes.
waiting for the bus and on the road, and then go to school and then come back with bus. And then in the evening you have to go to the Quranic school from Asr until Maghrib. That's 5 days a week, and then for 6 years. That was a bit challenging for me, but then, yeah.
But you managed to face all the challenges, mashallah.
Yeah. I mean, I had to face it because I was having less free time than the other kids. Also, I didn't have any nap time in the evening, so it was all challenging. But then, alhamdulillah, I got through that stage and
Alhamdulillah.
and completed the whole Quran.
All right. So we have another question from Madam Fadila again. When you started memorizing Quran, how do you make sure that you finish it? I believe. Can you read?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you started memorizing Quran, how did you make sure? Yeah. So at the beginning, I wasn't totally convinced I would complete the whole Quran, because no one would imagine that it would be a very easy task. So at the beginning, I was not mentally prepared. I was also lazy at many times at the early stages. I wasn't really efficient with my efforts or time. But then over time, as I reached towards my end goal, which is the 30 juz, I began to get motivated more and more.
Yeah.
And also the support from my parents had a very big impact on this. So imagine a kid who wants to have fun all the times,
Yeah.
but then there's also a big task in front of you, which you don't like as a kid. So having that parent support is very a great thing to have,
Yeah. Agreed. I think your parents are doing such a great parenting way to practice in a family. May I know what is your parent profession?
They're both nurses.
Oh, nurses.
Retired.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So who would have imagined?
So currently, did you stay in Kuwait or you stay in Indonesia?
I've stayed in Kuwait for 16 years.
16 years.
And then I moved to Qatar alone.
Oh, Qatar.
For my high school. Yeah.
I see, right.
And my family stayed there until last year. They've already retired and moved to Indonesia.
I see, right. Wow, so basically you have been live outside from Indonesia about
my whole
20
life.
years. Yeah, the whole
Which is my whole life. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so can you share with us on some tips that you can share with us on the memorizing Al-Quran? Hello?
Some tips? Sure. Okay, so the first tip is to find a appropriate place to study and learn the Quran. So your room is probably not gonna be a good place to do that. The best place, mostly the masjids or the surahs, where you can find other people doing the same thing as you, with the same goals and the same passion as yours. You will find those people around.
All right.
Also, you have to have a teacher with you.
Tutor.
So doing it alone won't be very effective. So you'll get bored over time. Your motivation will go away. So there should be a teacher who will guide you, who will
Assalamu alaikum wa
be strict
rahmatullahi
on you,
wa
who will push you all the times. So a teacher is a very important factor in this. Also, another tip is to have a spreadsheet or a couple of spreadsheets printed out with the number of pages of the Quran on it. So we have around 600 pages, right, in the Quran. So you have those numbers printed on a paper, and every time you complete memorizing one page, you tick on that specific page. So the more pages you will finish, the more you have, the more you will tick, the more you will circle the pages you've completed, and the more you'll get motivated.
I see.
And another tip is to surround yourselves with the people that have the same goals and the same passion as yours, the good people. Because that way you will be motivated by them, they will push you and you will push them, and you will benefit each other that way.
I see, yeah. So, okay.
And I think the last one is to stay away from committing sins. The little ones like saying curse words or telling lies or speaking about someone behind their backs. So all of those are easy things to avoid, but have a major impact on your memorization process. Also, one thing is very important is to stop listening to music. I know this is very difficult for some people. It seems very, very challenging, but then for me, memorizing Quran and listening to music is like very contradicting to each other. It's like one is canceling the other. So if possible, people who want to start memorizing the Quran, please try to stop listening to music.
Can I ask what kind of music is that? Is it nasheed is allowed?
Most of the scholars say that everything involving a instrument or instruments, a song or a nasheed that involves instruments going on, it's better to avoid.
I see. All right.
Also, even if it's a nasheed,
okay.
but it's also distracting you from doing your task, it's better to avoid that as well.
I see.
Because many of the nasheeds and songs in general, they're very catchy and they stick in your mind, for a very long time. So whenever you try to memorize a new verse or you try to revise, many times it comes to your mind without you wanting it. So the music would go through your mind and you would want it to go away, but you wouldn't be able to because it's very stuck in your mind. Yeah.
I see. All right. Brother Yazid, we have a few questions. Okay. All right. From Madam Fadilah. Can you speak in Indonesian language?
She asked that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I speak Indonesian, but only the basics, like the
I
basic
see.
conversational skills.
I see. So how many language that you can speak actually?
3, you can say 3.
3.
Yeah, Arabic, English,
Arabic?
and Indonesian.
I see. Right. Okay. Another question. For those you don't know Arabic, which one should come first? Learn Arabic or memorize the Quran?
No, you can start right away with memorizing the Quran. The Quranic school I went to,
Mm-hmm.
the Pakistanis, the Indians, the Afghanis, I think 95% of them don't even speak Arabic.
I see. Wow.
And they've managed to complete Quran in 2.5 years. Very quick, without them even knowing the language. So it's not very important factor here, but it's also good to know the meanings and interpretations of the Quran. But that's
So
not
if
very,
sorry?
yeah, it's not a very uh, dependent factor.
Oh, I see. So, but if you can speak Arabic, so there is an advantage for you to memorize the Quran because you know the meaning and.
I think so, yeah,
Right.
to some degree.
Right. I think we already come to the end of the session.
Wow, that
Yeah.
was
So,
quick.
thank you very much, Brother Yazid. I think we already spent we start at 9:15, so we already spent about 40 minutes with you. We talk about on how we want to memorize the Quran, and maybe, hopefully, our friends, our followers who are joined this Instagram live will get something to apply during this pandemic session, and we want to reach the Ramadan next week, inshallah, because today is a Friday, so next week on Friday we will begin our Ramadan journey. All right. So yeah, there is a wish from Madam Nisa. Can you please make a dua for all of us to close the session? You know, the dua from
No?
the Huffaz, mashallah, is unhijab.
I mean, I can do it privately, but I don't like to make a group duas, you know. If that's okay.
All right. Okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you very much, Brother Yazid, for joining us, for accepting our invitation to go live with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you to all our participants who are joined our Instagram live. Thank you very much for your effort and supporting us. So that's all from us on behalf of FSC. Thank you very much. And stay tuned for the next session. Next week we have another sharing session, and this is Control Alternative. So thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Assalamualaikum, Brother Yazid.
Thank you everyone for joining, and stay tuned for next week.
All right, inshallah.
Yes.
Assalam. And for your information, we save this sharing session on FSC account for about 24 hours. And if you want to share it, we also save in YouTube, our YouTube channel. You can search on YouTube IFSC IIUM in our YouTube. So we already saved